My co-chair is not around, just another panel that is sharing to stand over. So we're going to be starting with conceptualizing African traditional religion among the youth in northern Nigeria, the Igbo practice by Musa Shazama, University of Lagos. All right. Dr. Musa is joining us. Engaging very robust engagement. I said the journals around. Do you have a who's financial studies? It's only flashes. Where on the system? Where we well, I can share the full financial online. What
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Susan Tigadama. I am the Institute of African and Diaspora Studies, University of Lagos here. It's a privilege to be here. It's a great opportunity, and I hope we're going to have an interactive session. Actually, I like to draw your attention to the fact that I did not draw a conclusion of my work because it's a work in progress. Because the work of a researcher is to go to the field, bring in literature, present to other scholars, let them do additions and subtractions. So my work is subject to standardization, changes, intervention and correction. I will appreciate that. Thank you. So I will be talking about the Bori practice. The very interesting one, because in the corner, it is believed that we do not have a traditional practice or worship or ancestral worship system. However, research shows that we have an ancestral way of worship before the coming of Islam. That is after the conqueror of the north by Usman Dan Fodio. So, introduction shows that, okay, as an African, I started my introduction with African religious practices inform everything in traditional African society, including politics as marriage, the health, diet, the economy, and it simply acknowledges that beliefs and practice touch on and inform every phase of human life. Therefore, African religion cannot be separated from everyday mundane. So our lifestyle is our religion. Like I said the other day in an interactive session, I said equity, humanity is my own religion as an African person. So we go on to look at, for the purpose of this research work, our discussion will be focused on Bori. Bori is Maguza, we call it Maguzanchi in the north. It's practiced by the Maguzawa. It's their own religious practice. So we're going to center our work on it and how it works and everything. The adherents of these religions believe it can give you several things. It can give you fortune, wealth, health. There's a Bori practice for healing, Bori practice for wealth, Bori practice for different purposes. So it has different variations. It works with Iskoki and Aljenu. Iskoki is spirit. So just keep sliding. Iskoki, spirit, Aljenu, ghost, all this, that's how it works. So it depends on what you're actually looking for when you go to the priest that is coordinating Bori work. So whatever you go for, you choose and it works for you. According to Dr. Mohammed, I choose to cite the works of several scholars so that you can refer to it and get a better understanding of what they said. Dr. Taiwo Adamu, Deputy Director, Literature and Culture, BUK. According to him, he said, Bori is the Islamic traditional religion of Hausa people of West Africa that involves magic, spirit, possession, trances, exorcism, and other supernatural elements. It goes on and on and on and gives explanation on Bori. For the purpose of time, I won't be able to go deep into this, but I can always make my work available. So according to Habila says a lot of people, actually, one of the reasons why I'm working on this project is because at the time of research, I did over 20 literature reviews, and I realized that people were not focusing on why it is being practiced, why it is still practiced. People are just talking about Bori, oh, this is Bori, oh, and it's for the people that are relegated, so people that have been dejected, it's for the people that are neglected. People have not really gone to say, okay, if this practice has been there and is still on, what is the value? Why are they doing it? So that is the purpose of my research. So that's why I wrote the statement of problem. There has been a series of articles and publications on Bori practice in northern Nigeria. However, much has not been said about the revitalization and sustenance of Bori practice. This paper seeks to interrogate the revitalization and sustenance of Bori practice, especially in its relevance among some northern Nigerian youths. That is to say, it is not all, there are specific northern Nigerian youths that are still into it. And why I indicated northern youths here is because the center of our discussion, we are looking at ancestral practice among the youths. It doesn't limit that elders, mothers, fathers, other people are not practicing it, but I started to limit it because of the center of our discussion here. So the aims and objectives, this study aims to interrogate the revitalization, okay, examine the elements of attraction, what is attracting them to practicing of Bori, interrogate the involvement of northern youth in Bori practice, why are they involved? Then we are going to look at examine the economic, political, social relevance of Bori practice among northern youth. So that is where we are heading to. So our research questions were, what makes Bori practice attractive? What is attracting you? Because we interviewed, we used, our research method was qualitative, I have it on my slide. We use qualitative research method. We also use the work of purposive sampling. Purposive sampling is done when you know that there are targeted people that are into the same practice, that they are into that practice. Let's say I want to do a research on prostitution. Purposive sampling helps you to go into the enclaves of prostitutes and ask them because they are the ones involved. So that is the only time you can apply for purposive sampling. So we apply for purposive sampling because we were privileged to go to a place in Kano, into the Wada local government, we call it Java, where that practice was going on. And the beauty of it is that my father's house is, we had a house for over 50 years in Kano. I'm from Borno. So they didn't even know why I was asking them. I just mixed up with them and I just needed to know because every day they get more people. So I needed to know why they are in this practice. So in the process of making inquiries and findings, our findings took us to so many things, so many reasons. But the major the findings we got was Bori. There are a lot of economic situation in Nigeria now, and a lot of northern youth are into irrigation farming. So the use of Aljanu or Iskoki is applied for economic reasons in Bori practice. So what they do is, like, I can, for me to get a good harvest, which will enable me go for more loans in agricultural banks, I will employ the service of 2 people, but with the help of Iskoki, I'll be getting, it will be as if it's like 20 or 50 people that are working on that farmland. So my produce comes out well and it becomes very bountiful, and that's it for those that are practicing it. That is why they are practicing for economic reasons. It keeps them stable, they are doing well, they can take care of their families, and they don't have economic challenges. Another reason they said is for, they've been relegated, that the actual Muslim devotees are against Bori. They feel is infidelity, is an infidel practice. So they are being relegated. Nobody has asked them, are you just coming to this Bori to do a particular thing? Why are you doing Bori? Can we look into why you are doing Bori? Maybe we can help you out. Nobody is asking them. People are just interested in, all the people are saying that you are a Bori practice, go this way. You are not part of us. So they are relegated and they are not included in everything that is done. So they go to Bori and they get what they want and they get it faster and they are contented. Then another study shows again from far back at 1817, one of the Europeans that came in and was making inquiry, he also talked about relegation. He said why women were involved as a den was because women were relegated, that a woman did not have a place in the society. So since Bori chooses to use a woman to manifest whatever they want to manifest, the woman feels, oh, I can be useful for a particular thing, so let me join the Bori practice and believe in the Bori practice, they recognize me. So that is why I worked with relegation, because I felt if in the past we're talking about relegation and in this present contemporary time, the youth are still talking about relegation as a challenge, I feel it's something to look into. So I looked at their social life. We all know the rate of marriages, how marriages are divorced is very rampant. So Bori, according to those that practice it, they said, if you go to the Bori for inquiry, Bori will tell you that your Iska and this one's Iska, that is your spirit, and this woman's spirit matches. So if you marry her, she will bring you wealth, she will give you peace, you will have children, good children. So the youth feel, if I can go to a Bori priest and he will give me shortcut, why should I be going around marrying and divorce? So some of them are into this because of this reason. So for social reasons, marriage; for economic reasons, harvest; and for political reasons, of course, we all know if you study culture, if you mix culture with human capital, recent research shows on First Bank that those individuals that are into cultural practice are more well behaved in the human capital development system. That is, culture has already prepared them and put them in the right space to function properly and interact better with their colleagues. So, and we all know that there is no system that survives without human capital. Human capital is a primary source for nation building. So if you reconnect the state of the person to give a better productivity in his deliverables as in human capital, we realize that the stable person that has a stable home will be more productive at work, and a productive citizen will give the nation production. So we are moving towards a nation building, which will take us to globalization, which is our target so far. So basically, these are the points I centered on, because we're really trying to find out why Bori and why are they still staying into Bori practice. So I've talked about this relief, and the paper is going to draw attention to relevance of ancestral worship. That is what I've just said. So theoretical framework, I decided to use this work will apply the liberal theory of justice with critical examination of principles, doctrine, in theory of John Rawls. The theory of John Rawls based on utilitarianism, and it talks about what I said about egalitarianism. It talks about everything is talking about individual rights. Everybody has freedom of worship, freedom of everything. It's like one of the theory, the alternative emphasizing on morality that advocate action to foster happiness. You are entitled to happiness. Once you are happy, everything is in order. Then other of his theories still talks about idea of contract, or in less or formal terms, agreement among individuals. We must agree to survive. So they have a right to practice, they have a right to be happy. So that was why I applied this theory. So I also looked at Nigeria Constitution, because we are talking about youth and they are based in Nigeria. So I want to draw our minds to, are they going against the government? It took me back to Nigerian Constitution. Looking at Nigerian Constitution, chapter 4 of section 38, states that every person should be entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, religion, including freedom to change his religion or belief, freedom alone or in community with others. So even our Nigerian Constitution is telling us we are free. We have a freedom to choose religion, choose association. So why are they being relegated? Why are you casting them? If the Constitution has not said anything against that, then I also go further to look at my Bible and the Quran. Okay, and there were provisions for where exorcism is practiced, for healing, you call on God for healing and others. So the practice of Bori, okay, I've given you a background of how it's practiced. Through, they have a Bulbure, it's through Shamuze, it started in Kano, in the Ala Mountains, because they said they love this, it's Koki-like mountains. So we go to research method. I've talked about qualitative, purposive, scope and limitation. My scope is northern Nigeria. Precisely, I chose Tudunwada local government, where you find Jaba, because that is where I could find oral tradition, direct source, primary source. Now, I interviewed youths within the range of 18 to 35. However, most of those people I interviewed, for the purpose of security, they said they don't want to come and be identified that, oh, you are the body practice people, come now, because they don't know where my paper was going to. So they said they want to be anonymous for security reasons. However, 2 people agreed, Master Udu and one professor, and they agreed, and they gave me their words and everything. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. Okay, let us confine our questions. I don't know if we shall ask the question. Now,
Thank you.
all right. No, okay. Okay. All right. Now, this is the general not available, and the community justice is also not available. It's not online. So I want to make my own presentation because I also have to thank you. So, All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. All right. Getting a paper, Beyond Cultural Awakening, Christianity and Youth Disenchantment and Disillusionment in Nigerian Urban Centers from 2000 to 2022. Okay, what inspired this research was a documentary I watched by BBC. The person was the documentary was talking about how many young people are living Christianity in their homes. So I went on to do my research. I not only Nigerians or Africans, but Black people globally. There is this awakening to return to ancestral worship. And in the course of doing my research, I discovered that it is beyond cultural awakening. So there was something I discovered. Let us go to the introduction because of our time. Because there are assertions that Nigerian youth are forsaking Christianity. Introduction, please. That Nigerians are forsaking the Christian faith in effort to decolonize and reject what they perceive as Western ideology, such as Christianity. So they are not embracing ITR, which I tell as indigenous traditional worship. But this, I discovered that there's another significant factor contributing to this rapid abandonment, which is linked to disillusionment and disenchantment with the Christian faith. So I'm trying to study this disenchantment. I'm trying to study what has led to this, this disillusionment and disenchantment with Christian faith that has made young people to abandon it. So, and I'm using Karl Marx alienation theory to understand this phenomenon. So, of course, the purpose of the study is to examine the recent rise in the abandonment of Christian faith in urban centers in Nigeria, as well as to examine factors responsible and to understand the growing ways, and also to examine the coping mechanisms. So we're going to go straight to the sources and methodology. Okay, my research methodology is investigative, descriptive, and narrative, and phenomenological in approach. So I kind of like what she said, I kind of targeted certain people because I discovered that most of I have a whole lot of Facebook friends and social media friends, some of them who are students, and they've abandoned this Christian faith. So I have to approach them and ask them why have they abandoned it. So I interviewed them. Also saw social media commentaries and and others. I also use secondary sources of historical inquiry, such as the use of books, journals, and websites. So the scope of this study is demographic in nature. I interviewed people between the ages of 16 to 40. And the reason for this demography is what has been identified by BBC. BBC discovered that people within this age range are abandoning the Christian faith, especially in East Africa. And also my own personal observation informed my demography. And the place of our study started within the spectrum of social media and urban centers in southern and western Nigeria. Okay. Okay, I was looking at the theoretical framework, which is a relation theory propounded by Karl Marx in his work. And the theory captured the sense of powerlessness, isolation, and meaninglessness experienced by human beings who have this feeling of oppression. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. Can you go to Christianity in Nigeria? So Christianity in Nigeria, of course, came into being in the 15th century when the Portuguese missionaries and traders arrived in Benin and Warri kingdoms and introduced Christianity. And in this 2013 survey carried by Pew Research, 49.3% of the nation's population are Christians. Can we go to the next slide? Slide 10. Slide 10, please. Okay, I looked at factors responsible for this disenchantment. And we identified that modernization and globalization has played a role because modernization has created alternative. Of course, in the age of social media, many people are exposed to various ideologies that have made them question their faith. And the next one I also identified is exploitation. Of course, one of the factors identified when I made my interview was that they saw that Christianity that is being practiced is capitalist in nature, and that has informed them to abandon their Christian faith. Then scandal and hypocrisy. This also influenced young Nigerians to abandon Christianity because in one of my interviews, one of my on LinkedIn, his name is was sharing a story on LinkedIn how his mom was abandoned by the church he sweat and labored for. So when his mom fell ill, the church, a very prosperous mega church in Nigeria that had an hospital or a mega hospital, could not take care of his mom, so they abandoned the woman to her fate, and she died in the process. And this made him to reject the Christian faith. I also question because people don't want to submit to any authority. Most people, one of the people I discussed with said that the reason why I started Christianity in the first place was because of the presence of authorities. So he had to abandon the Christian faith in order to be independent. And also see the influence of Western culture, and also lack of intellectual engagement. So people have dismissed Christianity as a myth. They think that it is they cannot engage in intellectual discourse. So some people tell you that how can you say that the world was created? So I saw something on the same social media. I said that in the beginning we saw a snake talking. In the end, we saw a dragon spitting fire, talking about the creation story and then the fall of man and how the serpent tempted Eve. Then talking about Revelation, book of Revelation, whereby there was the Armageddon and the war in heaven and how the dragon was fighting. So people dismiss this thing as me. So response is okay in a big because nature has us backing. So people are now responding to this abandoning and decision by reconnecting with the ancestral practice, which is one of the things that also informed this panel. People are now taking up, returning back to ancestral practices, and in order to meet up or not to fulfill that spiritual fulfillment. Then exploit alternative beliefs. There are many young people who have rejected Christianity and are now joined New Age in Nigeria. But even though their practice is clandestine, there are a lot of Nigerians practicing yoga. In fact, there are even yoga offices or yoga centers in Nigeria. So people have abandoned it and they have found fulfillment in all this New Age and instant philosophies. So embracing secular humanism. People don't tell you that instead of me being religious, let me just just love my neighbors. I don't want anything. So these are the coping mechanisms. So engage in social activism, and then secularization and agnosticism, and then self-reflection and growth, and other things that have been identified as these responses and coping mechanisms. Coming to the next slide. Okay. These are things abandonment. That first person is a friend of Facebook. It's not a more. So he was a former Christian and he abandoned Christianity because he was not finding fulfillment. He said he felt lost, practicing Christianity, and ever since he returned to ancestral worship. If you see him now, he's looking robust. All right. Yes. Okay. Another one is he always insulted me for my faith. He said that we call pastors pastorpreneurs. So these are the things that people are saying. People are not the Christian faith as we know it then is not what it is now. People are not private pastors are not driving private jets because their members are languishing in poverty and penury. So these are discouraging people. So this was one I saw on LinkedIn by Michael, who pointed out the failure of taking care of the poor and the needy. So he pointed out as his reason for abandoning the Christian faith after he shared how his mother died, despite serving and our parents were always churchy. They're always in the church from Monday to Saturday, doing one work or the other. The mother was a Christian mother. When she fell sick, the church could not help. So he just abandoned it. And how did he cope? He said that they carried some ritual practices by sleeping on his mother's grave every year to commemorate his mother's death. That's how he is. So he's into diverse things. So we also have Wale, who said that he fell into depression and Christianity could not help him. He started the existence of God. So, like I stated, that one of the reasons why people have abandoned the Christian faith is that Christianity is no longer, the Christianity is not providing solutions to pressing questions. And then later today, anybody that is on Twitter, we know this renowned journalist who jettisoned Christianity and became a social activist. So let's move to the conclusion. So this slide has delved into this behind the abandonment of Christianity, going beyond the sort of cultural revival. So I was not trying to go beyond that cultural revival. We are thinking that maybe you need to decolonize, you need to embrace, our ancestral roots. That has led to the reason that has led to why young people are abandoning the Christian faith. But beyond that, I say that people are feeling disenchanted with Christianity and how it is practiced. That's why they have abandoned the Christian faith. And I use Karl Marx's alienation theory to explain this phenomenon. And so I also looked at the factors that drove this abandonment, that is driving this abandonment among Nigerian youths, and also the coping mechanisms they have adopted. Thank you for listening.
Dr. and then back. One question, I don't be enjoying my own feedback. So we welcome but for now, Dr. Roots, I like your presentation, and is there also it said that as a story, a normal story is how the Ottoman that followed Japan destroyed or kind of assassinated the traditional religion of indigenous outside. And then the normal thing, I'm sure for many people or many Nigerians will be that if you ask once somebody is from the north, the next thing is that he's a Muslim. Yes. So for me to know that despite that Usman dan Fodio jihad, that there is a particular community that still helps sacrosanct their traditions, that we are never affected by that influence of jihad. And again, if I'm clear, you are trying to say that because of that tenacious hold on their tradition, those people have been relegated, maybe in the political or social practice. A devout Muslim, we don't say a devout Muslim is one that is yes. According to the works of that's why I kept citing the works of people that have really done in-depth analysis on these people. The only opportunity I have in carrying out the research on this people is when I met them in the act of practicing of movie. Well, however, over the lots of works, I've done over 21 literature reviews on this particular work. And I realized that what the kept saying is that they come from the form of them. Now, everybody has an explanation on what is movie. Like, even when I interviewed the youth in the art, some tell me that I am still a Muslim. What I am doing, Islam does not reject. So the quoted is right to be that it's so happy to something, whatever, I'll come to the quoted it for me, which I went and treated. I get a permission for exorcism, praising, calling on the name of God for healing. And this is what they are doing. So why are they relegating them? But a typical people goes to see story as and if you're pagan, you don't pay that paganism, you don't have a religion actually. What they are saying is, why are you calling us pagan? You don't feel God, because if you go through their history, through how they emerge from in their life, everything. You find that even in the period of practice, Tumurbushi is the priest. He does it through shadows. Shadows is like the place of worship. Even the country does not come down, he stays on the hill. He only comes down when they want to do the practice. 2 days into that day, that's when he comes down. After that, he doesn't come down, you can't see him. Now
You can't see the chief priest.
yeah. Then during the ritual process, anybody that enters that Shamush will die. It is only Shamush that has the right to enter that place. They bring sacrifice. If there's sacrifice, in all my research work, there's no part they say they still blood. They only bring black dog, black goat, black fowl, you understand? So they are not stealing blood. They are not sacrificing human beings. They are only sacrificing animals as usual, which everybody knows. They bring their gifts for their ritual purpose. At the end of the ritual, the priest tell them, oh, this year will be good. There will be rain, there will be bountiful harvest. So what can they do from? That is the question now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We are okay. This is for the benefit of all the young scholars, emerging scholars. If you are presenting any presentation, try as much as possible to make your slide very minimal. Because when you put so much work out there, all the other participants will be busy reading your work, and it may distract them from listening to you. But if you want to engage your listeners, try as much as possible not to give them anything out there. Minimize it, make it as simple as possible. Let them look at you. You talk to your work, you engage your work. It will help them to understand you. So it's better to always minimize. The last lecture, public lecture I gave, I only put out a picture. Just a picture. They were watching they only saw a picture. And I now delivered my lecture, only a picture. So I'm encouraging you not to put out so much words out there so that the people will listen to you and get what you are trying to say. Because all of us, we are busy. Even the one that Emeka presented, I was reading to be faster, to catch up with the slides. So I encourage you, please minimize your slide as much as possible.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for the one. So, Dr. Ruti, thank you for the beautiful presentation. So I have like 3 questions for you. The one I'm going to start with what Madam just said. I don't know your name. I have issue with your slides. It's not the issue of whether it is too wordy. You didn't arrange it well. You talked about the finding before telling us the scope. So that is, you have to justify that in another presentation. Then the question I have is this: you are talking about the practice of the practice in Ibori. There may be in comparative with their Muslim way of life or Christian way of life. My question is this, because I'm doing a research currently in Benin that has to do with this kind of topic on the issue of Igiobe. Igiobe is like inheriting the house that belongs to your father. So they normally will it to the first son. It's a customary something. So in that house, you must have a kind of shrine there, whereby you go and consult that shrine when you are in need of anything. So the first son will be the arrowhead of the family. If you want to request anything from your father, you have to go through that one. The question is this: what is the compatibility of the Ibori practice and Christendom or the Islam practice in Ibori? That is one. What are the impacts? Is it fading out? Are they retaining it? So that is the 2 questions.
It's about you.
Check the question now.
It's about you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ruti, for that wonderful presentation. I think my question addresses both of you. throughout today, I've been hearing about youthful spiritualities, traditional religion. But I think I have, maybe this is a question, maybe it's a suggestion or an idea. Why is nobody talking about the place of secrecy in this religion? We are out there pushing the Christian religion, the Islamic religion, but when it comes to this traditional religion, even asking them questions, they are so secretive about it. So I think this place of secrecy is something we need to consider, or anybody has to do a research on. And even while interviewing them, did you ask them how open are they about this practice? How confident are they? And what's the potential growth of this religion? We understand that traditional religion has been in existence even before our colonial masters, but it looks as if people are now being secretive and they don't want to be open about it. Is there any reason for this?
Okay. Thank you, my very good friend from University of Lagos. That's let me use the word I can pronounce. Musa. My name is Dr. Chinedu Nnamdi Azikiwe University. I listened to your topic, and each time I hear people discuss indigenous religious practices, I feel elated on what they say, and I take particular interest in trying to understand. It gives me the joy that our indigenous practices are not yet extinct. We still practice them, despite the influence of the imported religions like Islam and Christianity. And I want to say this. First, you've shown the fact that many people seem to have had some literature review, varied literature on the Bori. And now the question is, what different interpretation are you giving this Bori practice? In what way are you going to reinterpret something different from what all those scholars have said? All right, fine. And then if there's something new that you're going to say about it, if you're going to reinterpret in a different form, then that means you have to raise a superscript to particularize your own definition of the Bori practice. And again, I was looking to see if you would show us effigies of the Bori practice. You know, in other traditional practices, you see the offer, you see the chain, you see the bell, you see the iron, and the rest of them. There are instruments of practice which definitely they may have. None of those things was there, because it is through these things they tell us the practices of those things. I am particular about your topic. You said the Bori practice. So whatever you have there, by emphasis on the practice, because you're supposed to now prove to us the practice of the Bori and its efficacy, because that is what you want to do. So not having to tell us that there are some secrets and all that may not be particular what we want to hear, because we want to understand it. If I say there's Islam, there are certain parts about Islam, you tell me those practices. If I want to say about Christianity, now if you're being particular about Bori, you should be able to find out what this Bori is, because from what you're saying now, it's still the same normal Africa. So what stands Bori out of other traditional practices and religions? Thank you.
Thank you for the presenters. Very beautiful presentation, I must confess. My question actually goes to Dr. Musa, yeah, Gazama. In fact, the moment I saw the topic, sorry, Patrick. Yeah, the moment I saw the topic, I was very much interested, because one, between 2000 and 2009, I think I've traversed about 11 states in the north. Yeah, so during those period, I must confess to you, I barely saw or probably noticed this, traditional religious practices, and I want to learn. The framing of the topic, my emphasis here is youth. I'm very much interested in knowing if the Bori practice, like you have told us, was or is still being only practiced by the youth, one. And secondly, I might have missed it in the course of a presentation. Please, could you help bring my attention back to the exact region, that in terms of the geography, is it that the Bori practice was or is something we can actually find across all the northern states, or is there a specific or a particular group of northern regions where this practice is still being conducted? Thank you.
Okay. I'm Dr. Ruth. Actually, mine is not a question. I want to react to some of these things. My sister there talked about secrecy. You know, when you are not confident of what you are doing, you become secret about it. Like she said, she interviewed some persons who said they want to be anonymous because of the way the imported religion has override our own indigenous religion. People get shy at exposing themselves. I want to take my place in Ndokwa as an example. Before now, if you talk of traditional festivals, you will not see anybody. But like we have all noticed, youths have started coming out. For the past 3 years now, youths are the ones taking up these festivals. They're all coming out to hell with this foreign religion because they've not done anything for us. So that is one. The second one, sorry, bro, you talked about, okay, practice. Most scholars that have written about Bori wrote about it from the performance perspective, because I know that Professor Osita Okagwe wrote about it. Late Professor Adelugba, Dr. Adelugba wrote about the Bori performance. So I think she's looking at it from the cultural practice of youth. That's what I think. She can answer the rest. Thank you.
I support what you said. Good Jesus, 26 February, I want you. I'm intentionally I want to find a strange here. What is most? I say, I want to you just shout, if you look at you will not live here wanting to say visual, and you can see that to go out and say, what is wrong? Let me check what is wrong. They told me that this is our only wrong for crops. That this is a problem, and that's much so that if I try to believe it, remember that our Christian, they came to destroy all this. What's not the liability? It's not about one house. It's next. It's body clock. I didn't start to say,
Okay, Doc.
because I think you have a
Okay, thank you very much. My question is basically, Ma, while you were talking, you made mention of reasons why people practice Bori. So my question is it that nobody, because you didn't make mention of, is it that nobody practice Bori right now because it's a religion of their forefathers? Because you were counting of political gains, economic gains. Is it that nobody practice Bori now because it's a religion of their forefathers? And secondly, you know, our panel is on resurgence. So I want to know, is it that the youths are now coming out to join Bori? Are they now coming out? Because that is how we can be able to, we are on youthful resurgence. Is it that they are now coming out to join Bori, or is Bori just there as he has always been, in secret? Thank you.
No. We have another presenter. So we ask, one to take that.
Okay, I'll react one after the other. To Dr. Isaiah, my honorable colleague, arrangement of slides. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're my senior colleague, so it's in order. I appreciate that. That's why in the beginning of my presentation, I said my work, I didn't draw a conclusion because it's a work in progress. I still seek reactions, contributions, corrections, because as a field, as a researcher, you keep bringing literature, then you add and Thank you. So for the issue of you said, how does it coincide? You say I talked about in the practice of Bori is exorcism. They say, how now when you how Bori, you go into trance, you speak like you're speaking in tongues. In the church, don't you speak in tongues? I believe that that's why I quoted the Quran, where they talked about you exorcism, you call upon God for healing and everything. And in everything I do, I make references. Why? Because I am working on literature, not my oral tradition. Have I answered your question? Good. So I go to Abimbola now. Abimbola said, uh, why have they opened up? Of course, they opened up to me. They opened up to me because I went. In fact, they know me in that area because my family house is close to that place. So I go there very well. So I went like a normal worshiper. This thing is interesting. Quibori, that's how on YouTube. What like the Munjida Inki, madam? They were like, we thank you, madam. They don't like us. They feel we are doing nonsense. You see, you as civilized as you are, you want to put us on YouTube. This is your type we are looking for. So they open up. They felt I came. I asked, are you? I had 10 questions that I asked, but I don't bring everything. Like I didn't want to ask a historian. That's why my slides are even much. I wanted what I wanted to do, but because I was being discreet, I wanted to play a video of where they are doing deliverance in the church. A body person is in trance and deliverance again in another part. So you compare the three, what are they doing? They are doing the same thing. So I wanted to speak to it. But I was being discreet because we have to be sensitive in our present this thing. I may use the video of a church and the church will say, oh, I'm coming to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a process. Now, the issue of I asked, but because of secrecy, only 2 people. It will interest you to know that a doctor, a professor in the making that presented here yesterday, when he spoke outside, I responded. I asked him, he said, he's Fulani, that he's Fulani, he does Bori. I was shocked. I had to sit down. In fact, the 10-minute interview I had with him gave me like what I've been researching on for like 6 months. So that is to say, it is valid, it is in practice. Now, you talked about evidences. Doctor from Namdi Adikwe, you said you want to know evidence, how they practice. That's why I talked about a hill in Dala. The priest comes down, Burubushi is the priest. The place of the practice is Shamus. You understand? Then the process, they will come and everything, they bring their sacrifice. He goes in for consultation, he comes out. Another way, there are different ways of how Bori. Bori can send you fire, spit fire. There is Bori for different purposes. You come to Bori for inanima and heri is different. You come to Bori for inanima, what I want to be healed. Bori, if Bori wants to put you in trance, it can make you go like standing until you finish your display, they take you back to your normal point. So it happens in different forms. But for those who are practicing it, when you are there, they will say, when Bori, that is, you have entered trance. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good. And what said did you ask me again? Interpretation of Bori. That's the practice. Yes. Okay. What I am trying to, if you looked at my statement of problem, I said this work seeks to interrogate the revitalization and the relevance. All the works that has happened on Bori, like my colleague said, they've always talked about the origin of Bori. Oh no, do you know this thing is practicable in Ottoman, in Tunis? Slaves took it there until one prophet went to Mecca, came back forth and said it's infidelity, infidel practice, paganism. And to an extent, it didn't even abolish it immediately. It took a long process before it was abolished, and not totally abolished in Tunisia. The slaves that were taken here went and were practicing to tell you how strong this practice is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then another person traced it to Syria alone. In fact, at a point, Palmer talk, Prebenez talk, Morila talk, a lot of people. This is something that has been happening since 1821, 1814. A lot of literature, like I told you, I did over 20-something reviews. In fact, the effort that came on this work, practically everybody wanted to contribute, everybody wanted to talk because it became so interesting. So everybody was interested in it. And another thing I want to draw your mind to, The process of practice. I did a research recently on the Boatier people of Numan Kingdom. Today, they are the ones that installed the governor of Adamawa State. I hope you know that Fulani is no longer a governor in Adamawa. That was the work of the Pachama people. They have been ancestral worshippers from beginning. If you are not ancestral, don't come and stay there. You cannot survive there. They fought, and today they became a voice in Adamawa State. What am I saying? We can sustain ancestral worship. Thank you for that. Thank you, ma.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
So please,
Hello?
hello, please, I beg our indulgence. Somebody is online for his presentation. This is Dr. Jonas from History Department, University of Nigeria, Suka. His work is on Nume Kwome deity as a driver of democratic regimes. Democratic regimes in Osuka Ido. Dennis, you can now present.
Thank you very much. I, Ngozi Obiani, doctor. I'm very highly excited. I've been listening to what is going on there, and I know I'm pleased. So my topic is on Numkwome deity as a driver of politics in Nsukka, Igbo, Enugu State. I must begin by apologizing. This is an ongoing research, so you may not get all that you want as I present. By way of introduction, I said that although the inIgboland or the Igbo in their traditional religiosity, they have quite a number of gods and goddesses, but because of the massive Christianization of the people of the land, you find out that most of those gods and goddesses have almost disappeared. They have all been consigned to history. So, but only a few deities have survived the Christianization onslaught, and one of the deities, such deities, is the Numkwome deity. The deity is currently enjoying wide patronage from the Nsukka youths and especially the politicians. Questions have been asked: what really attracts the youths and the politicians to this deity called Numkwome? I said, before answering the question of what attracts the youths, let us answer one fundamental preceding question, and that question is, what is Numkwome? By way of answer of the Opupa community, Opupa is in Nsukka, and why the Numkwome, it originated, or it was set up as
I think we lost. So you said yes. Hello, sir.
Let him, he should not, he should remove the video. I know the man I love.
Take the younger politicians there, for good taking.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Hello.
We didn't get you. We didn't get. We lost you. Your definition of nume kwome. That's where we lost you.
I said, okay, yeah. Nomukwo, did you get the definition? Nomukwome is the goddess of the Obukwa community. They use it for intra-tribal wars, village, pre-colonial village wars of expansion. And beyond that, it is also the community's goddess of protection, wealth, guidance, and so on. Can we go on? Can we go on? Hello?
Yes, yeah, go on.
So now we are looking at the reasons for the patronage of that goddess by the politicians and the youth. We say several reasons have been advanced as to that current development. We said they patronize it, as a way of selling, for purposes of selling political deals. Politicians see the Numkwome as very active, oath taking there as very active and irrevocably binding. Two, it is seen as they go there to secure obedience of party members who are contesting political positions. When they take you there, anything you agree with them there is also irrevocably binding. So they also go there for purposes of divination. What do we mean by divination? Interrogation of the future. They go there to interrogate the future. They know what has the future, what does the future hold in this political dispensation for our contestants and for our party. So some also go there in search of political relevance because they see the goddess as the goddess of blessings. They see it as the goddess of favors. If you go there, you have a political ambition, the deity will bless you. If you go with the necessary sacrifices, they will be blessed, and your future, your roads to power, your ambition will be fulfilled. Also, the youth now, to the youth personalizes deity because of financial assistance. It gives them financial assistance. They go there, they raise loan, interest-free loan from the shrine, and use it for different purposes. Some use it for business, and so on and so forth. So with the methodology used that in this research is more of the survey method. The survey method is it has two arms or two streams. One of the arms is the quantitative method. The other one is the qualitative method. So both interviews and questionnaires were used. It was a field work, an ongoing field work. So the more of ethnographic method was also used, where you find yourself with the community, you interact with them, and so on and so forth. So by way of conclusion, the Nsukka people, the Nsukka politicians patronize the shrine or the deity with the sacrifices. There they make appeals for power, they make appeals for protection, they make appeals for success in the elections, they make appeals for, and well, yes, they interrogate the future, and they interrogate the future. They peer into the future, and also for securing the obedience of their party members who are contesting elective positions, so that if they are voted in, they will not, they will serve the party interests. Thank you very much. Yeah, I rest my case.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jonas, for that wonderful rendition. So we'll be asking questions. So are there questions for him? I have questions. I have questions for Dr. Jonas. Are there questions? Anybody? Okay. All right, sir. In the course of your presentation, you stated that the deity Unumukome has survived despite the onslaught. Why? Because you gave us, by way of introduction, that Igbo religious system has so many gods and goddesses, and many of them has faded away, or many of them has been relegated to history as a result of the onslaught by Christianity. So I want to ask, what has Unumukome, out of all these pantheons of gods and goddesses, survived? Why has it survived to this moment? So that's what I want to interrogate. Secondly, you stated that this deity provides wealth. I would like to know how you arrive at that conclusion. Did you interview people? Did you do a survey? How many people told you that I went there and it gave me wealth? And if you look at it, Enugu State, as where the deity is domiciled, is among the poorest states in Southeast. Despite it gives wealth. So yes, there are statistics. It's one of the after a point being the least, Enugu is next. So why is it that this deity, despite it being okay, let's take for instance that is in Nsukka. Is Nsukka the wealthiest? Okay, he said it's in Nsukka. Is Nsukka the wealth? What are the parameters to show that Unukome has provided wealth for the people? Thank you very much.
Okay. The second question, sir. When you started, you said that Unumukome is a war goddess. So my question is, when did it become when did the Unumukome maybe do I say migrate from being a war goddess to a wealth goddess? Thank you, sir. At what point in the history of Omupa did Unumukome move from being a war goddess to a wealth goddess? Thank you, sir.
Okay, you can go on, sir.
Thank you very much. The first question, why the deity survived, that question remains. It was what provoked the research, and that is that goes to the purpose of the research. So we are looking at it, and we know that from evidence on ground, the efficacy, the accuracy of their divinations, and the wealth that is there. So is part of the reasons for the survival of the deity. we are still looking to discover more of the reasons. So the second question says, how can I it is a practical thing. I am from Movoko, very close, near the next village or community after Obukwa. So persons that are involved there, I know. One of my good friends was there, and after 1 year of visiting the shrine, that was all going to raise loan, to receive loan. He went there to can I go on?
Sir, we can't hear you. We have issue with the audio, sir. Please, only for a minute.
Okay.
You know, I heard you. I changed the audio. It's a thing about it's not working.
Yeah, what I got here. My battery is low. Jamaica. Service gone. Can I go on?
Yes.
Okay, I said there is a practical thing. One of my friends, because I'm the next community after Obukwa is Ovoko, and I'm from there. So I know a couple of friends who went there and what happened in their lives. So one of my friends was there. After 1 year, he became rich, and as I said, he didn't go there to take loan. He went to make a covenant with the deity. After 1 year, he came back rich, and yes, even though he later died because he didn't meet the terms of the agreement, the deity later took his life. So it is so we know what is there. Why is talk of poverty around the place? Because many people run away. Many run away from going to that shrine. That is the issue. But it really gives money. It really gives cash if you have the heart. Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Dr. President. Right? Okay, Dr. Eze, for your well thought out feedback. My name is Dr. Chinedu from Nnamdi Azikiwe University. My research focuses mainly on the socio-cultural history of Africa and their politics. And when I looked at your topic, I was a little bit encouraged that your topic has simply done something I see as a reinforcement of what of air called say that every what is it, a Buddhist proverb that says that all knowledge are plagiarized, only stupidity is original. And when I look at that, what I tell myself is some things that we are seen and referred to as stupidity of the African man or the Igbo man are beginning to resurface because of the emphasis we have placed on oral tradition as the major source of reconstructing African history. And I want to believe that your work centers more on the import of the shrine on instituting democratic principles among the people of the Nsukka area. And I wish to say or suggest that you may wish to take further your contestations and avowals about this particular shrine as a template for actually going beyond the Nsukka and larger Nigerian society to actually institute the forms of democratic principles that could rethink the way we practice democracy in Nigeria to actually reflect the African democratic principles of the village democracy method. Because what we have today in Nigeria is the Western capitalist democratic principle, which does not indeed go well with most African states. So yours could be a template towards instituting a pure African-based democratic principle. So thank you for reminding us again that our shrines and our deities are actually the epitome of maintaining pure democracy in the Nsukka, which we can also extend to other Igbo communities. Thank you very much.
Mic is good. You can't hear. Good to hear you, sir. Good to hear you. It's great to hear you, man. Hello, sir. You drop out. You drop out. We lost you. You drop out. You drop out this man. Nice one. Thank you very much.
Now, I've read something